Welcome to the Coffee Experts Club. If you're at all interested in anything we talk about in this episode, go ahead and check out the description down below, or if you even just want to know more about us, click on the links below. Now on to the episode.
Yes, Coffee Experts Club. Ben Clatterbuck. Drew is out with the flu, so prayers and love sent to our boy Drew. The flu sucks.
This poor guy. He's either like sweating through t-shirts down in Belize, or he comes up here and he gets sick.
Your t-shirts because he's got the flu. Poor dude. Yes. But honestly, Ben, 'tis the season, right? So today we're going to talk about holiday. This time of year, unfortunately, sickness a lot of times does come with that, which sucks, but is something probably to be expected. But today we're going to talk about on the show, 'tis the season. What are the things you should be expecting? What are the things you should be looking for? What are the things you should be keeping an eye on as the seasons change? And being aware of a change in the time of year.
I mean, if you're in the Pacific Northwest at all, like it's getting cold outside. And I was actually just sitting down with a client last week, and we were both talking about how, sitting in the shop, and there's the change. You could see the change. There was a 4-to-1 ratio of hot drinks to ice drinks. It's that time of the season, man. The hot drinks are coming out, and with it comes a whole slew of, your company basically switches over to another menu essentially when it comes to the cold season, because everybody knows during the spring, summer, it's all iced, it's all blended, it's all energy drinks. And the second it starts dipping down below 50 degrees, it becomes, 60-ounce hot, 20-ounce hot Americanos. So it's something that I think we'll probably talk about every year this time of year, just to make sure that you're aware of, the things that you should be paying attention to. What do your cogs look like? With hot drinks, obviously, more milk gets used. And more milk gets wasted too. Like there's a lot of those steam pitchers get filled, 3/4 of the way up, and only, half of it goes in the cup. The other goes down the drain. So this is a great time to just be paying attention to the small things, not only with your cogs, but with your people and your customers. If you want to get through the holiday season well, especially since, January is around the corner, and we all know in the coffee industry, January is like death month for when it comes to coffee shops.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think that as it comes into the holiday season, there are probably a few things to highlight and be aware of. And so we're going to cover them all just in a quick snapshot today, kind of run through the list. I know, Ben, you're an operator of 15 locations and 150, 200 employees, depends on the flex of the season, right? Like you were somebody that was always looking out for coming into a season shift like this. Down in Belize, we don't deal with a lot of season shift, right? It's pretty much hot and hotter. You know what I mean? We don't have to deal with this nearly as much, but I know something that you would always talk about is, obviously we just talked about cogs, right? So if you know that particular line item in your cost of goods, and if you haven't broken out your P&L to reflect different kinds of cogs, I would really highly recommend it. In fact, Coffee Experts Academy goes through that. We spend 4 whole sessions on the ideal P&L, how you're looking at your finances, where your percentages should be. So I would really highly suggest on your profit and loss, you break out your cogs so you can identify things like milk is spiking, and you can begin to identify where other places we can save. So I think that was a great call out of, as season shifts, make sure you're watching your cogs, unless you want your profit and loss to really start dropping when it comes to profit, because you're spending more above the line in the cogs. But you also, I know, used to always put out the reminders for, not only are we spending more on milk, but we probably need to spend a little bit more time on milk. You want to talk about that a little bit? Because there's a couple opportunities you can do to really make sure that your drinks are turning out right, and to give your employees some practice.
Yeah. Especially if you're in an area like the Tri-Cities, or if you're in California. I guess California, you don't really get a lot of seasonal change too. But if you're in a location that has a really hot summer, and your baristas are just used to pumping out ice drinks for, spring all the way through into September, they're going to forget how to steam milk, and steam milk well. I just saw a meme yesterday of, when you're a barista walking into a coffee shop and the sound of the steaming milk makes you cry. And every barista knows it. Like if you walk into a coffee shop, you listen to somebody steam and you hear that steam one making the wrong sound, you immediately go, no, my coffee's ruined. Because any barista worth their weight knows exactly how properly steamed milk should sound when it's being steamed. And so if you don't take the time to encourage or push proper milk steaming, coming into hot drink season, your baristas just aren't going to have enough practice. So one of the things that we did, and I encourage everybody to do, is we would have in-house latte art competitions. And that was it was one of the few times really out of the year where we were like, okay, you can have your phone on you, and we actually encourage you having your phone on you, because if a customer comes in and they order a hot drink, You pour some latte art in that cup. If it looks good, snap a picture of it. And at the end of usually mid to end of December, we would have all of the baristas send in their submissions of their latte art that they've been working on. And then, the winner would get, $100, $200. The winning shop would get something to split with all the baristas. And it was just a way to incentivize, like, okay, let's really, really, really work on steaming milk. Not only that, but when you got all of your baristas trying to pour really good latte art and then they're handing that over to the customer, it just really engages the customer. They get the ooh, they get the ah. Especially we saw so many baristas that had started out not being able to do anything, and they're pouring hearts and they're pouring rosettas, and then they're practicing and they're working on stuff. They're buying gallons of milk so they can practice. So it's a really good morale boost for your shops. It's a really good way to get them to practice steaming milk so that when you have those customers come in and who inevitably get 20-ounce hot non-fat lattes, they're not just getting a bucket of hot milk and there's no texture to it whatsoever. Your baristas are actually making quality drinks.
Yeah, man, so smart. And I think way to get a twofer out of it too, right? Like not only are you improving the skill of your people, but you're giving the customer a good experience. I know at Roasters had, the 3 pillars, which is speed, strength. You know what I mean? Like we want to make sure it turns out fast. I think any third rate coffee shop, anybody that's doing drive-through, like in fast coffee knows like speed's a really big deal. You know what I mean? So speed. And a lot of people understand the whole idea of service, right? Like none of us have jobs if the customer is not happy. But I think sometimes we can lack in that whole idea of, no, we have to have a product that's strong. I mean, like we got to have a coffee that tastes good. And the fastest way to tank the other things is by like turning out a product that's not excellent. So how can I get skilled baristas? How can I reward them for practice? How can I give a great experience to the customer, not only in the strength of the coffee, but also in the experience of the exchange back and forth? I think it's super, super smart.
Yeah, there's nothing better than if you're a manager, if you're in your shop seeing, your barista hand over some latte art and the customer pulls out their phone and goes, "Oh, wow," takes a picture. Like, you just like made that interaction, and they'll probably go and post that picture on social media and tag you. And all of it's just really organic. All of it just comes from like, hey, we want to make good drinks. How can we incentivize you? We're not going to come in and be like, all right, everybody take a test now and everybody steam their milk. And that works, but it removes a lot of the fun factor for the season. And we'd have baristas who are looking forward. They practice in the off season. They practice during spring and summer to get ready for the upcoming latte art competition for the company. And it's finding a way to incentivize the correct behavior from your baristas without having to put a thumb on them or having to force them, but making them want to be better at their craft. It was always such a great win for us. We had so many baristas. It was great to see. We would actually do categories. We would do best latte art. We would do most improved. So if a barista, had 10 pictures and it looked like a white dot, and they started out and they were pouring rosettas after that, we would have best shop, best all around shop. So it was really made a cool competition for everybody.
Yeah. So I think I love it. So cost savings and quality of drink, like quality control, watching your changing of the seasons when it comes to what you're making. I think though too, something we found with Roasters is holidays a great opportunity for you to make money in a line item that you might not always consider as a great place to make some money. And that is in hard goods. And we would turn hard goods sales into a competition too, Ben. Maybe you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I think that I feel like saw opportunity to lean in, realize people are shopping. They want to buy something local. They want to buy something unique. I felt like Roasters did a great job at kind of creating a cult following around the hard goods that they brought out seasonally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got really good at doing limited runs. It was actually the only merchandise we ever really had. A lot of companies will always have t-shirts on the shelves or hats on the shelves or mugs on the shelves, which is great. You could totally do that. I have no qualms against it. We didn't. I think we started doing that for a bit, and then we realized that most of the time they're just sitting on the shelf, collecting dust. But what we did do is we would do limited runs. So customers knew, our raving fans knew we don't ever have merchandise. So when we do a merchandise drop, it's going to run out. And then, who knows when we do another one. And Christmas was great for those holiday branded steel thermoses or camper mugs or all that sort of stuff. And we would, same even with the latte art competitions, we would incentivize our stores to who could sell out first. And we would drop cups off, drop some merchandise off based on store size, and whoever could run through them first, would get a bonus. Again, just incentivizing the behavior you want out of your employees. Baristas are notoriously horrible salesmen. They don't like selling. Like, you're never going to go to a coffee shop and a barista's going to go, well, you want a mug with that? But if you incentivize it and then you also say, hey, for any customer who buys a mug, they get their current drink for free. And it opens up the door for your baristas to go, hey, do you want a free drink? Just buy a mug. You'll get a free drink. You can use the free drink now. You can use it later. And the shop, if we sell out of these, our shop gets a bonus. So it again creates a fun situation to boost sales. Not only that, if you've got some sort of incentive program or incentive matrix like we use when it comes to bonusing out your employees every month, we would simply tell them, hey guys, this is a real easy way to boost up your gross sales way higher than they usually are and boost up your end of month bonus.
That's right. Yeah. So super smart. So not only ways to save money, right? Watching your COGS, watching your spending, keeping your profit in your P&L, but ways that you can grow sales, right? Ways that you can grow and actually knock down the most amount of dollars, right? We're not here to take advantage of people. We're not here about like trying to be like schmoozy with your sales techniques. It's like, no. They have a need. We have an offering. They're going to spend this money somewhere. And I know that was something that was really inspiring to me, was to watch people, even in our social media feeds, talk about like their collector's items. And there were some people that had like roaster shrines in their house of like, look at all these cups. We bought this cup. We were one of the original cup buy. We had this tumbler for this long. I know Drew still has a blanket to this day that a customer came in and had hand sewn of all the different roasters t-shirts and made him like a blanket from the roasters t-shirts. So he'd collect like just like cool stuff of like customer engagement, give them what they want, get them excited about it, stir up your people, right? Because we all want our people to learn how to upsell, right? That's the name of the game. The way that we grow our sales is taking an addiction that somebody has and then also pouring a little gas on it, right? Like we want them to be upselling pastries. We want them to be upselling into whatever it is, the extra pumps, the extra whatever it is, size ups. But man, hard goods is just like, I feel like a silent killer that a lot of people don't take advantage of, or they order it too late, or they start thinking about it too late. Think about it now, guys. Like get in front of it now. It's not too late to do a customized tumbler and have it delivered to your shops. And the thing I really love about those days with 15 different managers, Ben, is we'd have a manager chat. And in the manager chat, we would make the managers post, how's Southridge doing on tumblers? And I've only got 15 left. And Pascal would be like, I've got 12 left. And then it would turn into like a frenzy of how it like is this feeding frenzy of they all want to win. And it was just such a cool energy of not in a competitive way that was ugly, but in a competitive way that was like exciting and benefited the company as a whole.
Yep. And I would encourage everybody to think outside of the box when it comes to your hard goods too, because tumblers are great. They will always sell. Camper mugs will always sell. But one of our coolest ones, and one I still have, was a Christmas ornament. We did a Christmas ball, and we just had our logo on the front of it, and that flew out the door. And it was really, really moderately priced. I think it was maybe $6, but it was a big Christmas ball, and it just we dropped them. They were gone the same day, and it's just stuff like that. Just thinking outside of the box of what could we possibly just easily throw our branding on, throw a unique logo on, and would be cool for the holiday season. One year we actually even did wooden boxes. It was like a box set, came with a pound of coffee, it came with a mug, it came with I think it was like a $30 gift card. It was a high price item, and it flew out the door too. I think we priced it at maybe $70, and it flew. It was a collector's item essentially. And if you have raving fans for your company, everything you put out becomes a collector's item, which is so cool.
And I'm so sorry. As soon as you said gift card, I couldn't help go to it. But man, do you remember the good old days? You realized you could order in batch from Square, and you would have to load all of those gift cards, and you get carpal tunnel from loading like 500 gift cards.
Those are the Black Friday gift cards. Yep. I will. That's another good point too, though. Is Black Friday. Don't forget that your customers are expecting something for Black Friday. We used to always do just an absurd deal when it came to Black Friday. We would do $50 gift cards for $25, which is just ridiculous. And yes, I'd be in the back room for a few days loading $500 or 500 gift cards with $50 before I realized you could batch do that. But I would not advise doing something that drastic. We did it because we knew that come January, people are out of holiday, like spent all of their cash, and they're really the business drops a lot. And for us, it was, well, we can keep feet coming in the door if we sell these gift cards, but you're essentially cutting your revenue in half. When it comes to that, I would not recommend that. These days I would do like a 50 for 40, 50 for 35 if you want to drop down. Just know that if you do something crazy, people will be lined up at, if you open at 6 a.m., they'll be lined up at 5 a.m. because you're their first stop on the way to the rest of their Black Friday shopping.
Yep. Which I think is probably so staffing too, right? Like be aware of staffing for the holidays, realize that, and most people know this, but I'm just saying it because we do a lot of new people starting coffee, a lot of people thinking about starting coffee. I mean, we do consulting for those kind of people all the time, people that come out of Coffee Experts Academy that are wanting help opening their places. Just remember that holidays for you are an opportunity for you to make money, not for you to enjoy the holidays. Stay open on Black Friday. Be open early on Black Friday. Stay open late. Because people are going to be out shopping and they're going to want a cup of coffee as they go to the next spot. It's a great opportunity for you to seize the day and make money. Like what they say, cut hay while the sun's out. Like this is your opportunity. Like knock down the dollar bills for your business, because we all know January is coming, right? And we should be front loading for January. I will say there is a genius though about what Ben just said there. And what we found was we started offering too deep of gouge, and Ben and I pulled that apart and realized we're hemorrhaging too much money on these deal days that we're doing. So we did back down what it was, but there is a special kind of genius that says, let's have people put dollars away to spend on their daily habit in the month of January. Otherwise, people run out of money. They stop coming in for their daily habit, which means to pick that daily habit back up later in the year, we're going to see drop off. If you can get them into the habit of operating from a gift card, they still are hitting their daily habit. You don't lose them on the habitual side of coffee. A lot of our game is habit, right? So how can I keep them habit forming? Gift cards are a great way to do that. Incentivize gift cards. Think of ways that you can use gift cards. I think that's a super smart way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, people very easily over the holidays start brewing at home. Especially because people are having family over, they're having gatherings, they're used to brewing at home. It's great. You want to sell them coffee, you could sell them those coffee beans, but we don't want them to do is so used to brewing at home, and then also they don't have a lot of expendable cash now, so they're like, I'll just make coffee at home for the rest of January, into February, into March. You lose that customer if you're not careful. So if we can keep you in your routine of making sure you stop by our shop before you do anything else, then you're less likely to lose them to like home brewing or anything else. I will say too, when it comes to the holidays, if you're a shop who is going to be open on the holidays, on Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I would highly recommend, offer double time and a half, whatever it is to your employees. Build a culture around the fact that if they do work on those holidays, they are going to make an insane amount of tips. But those are really, really, really busy holidays. It's always the same. It's very, very quiet, very dead until about 9:30, 10, because everybody's getting up, they're doing presents with their family, or they're getting to their family's houses. But at around that 10 a.m. mark, they all kind of get sick of each other for the morning. So
they need a break.
Yep, give them a place to go, and inevitably they will come to your shop, and you'll have 5 and 6 drink orders all morning long. So quiet in the morning, but definitely overstaffed for those holidays because they will be incredibly busy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well, Ben, I think we're up on time today, but let's do a Tis the Season part 2 next round. And let's talk about the importance of culture, because I think you can do some really killer stuff when it comes to culture. And let's think too about like what you just said there at the end was really good. Like make sure you're considering your people that are having to work. It's probably unlikely you're going to be working on Christmas, but if somebody from your shop is working on Christmas, how can we communicate to them that we value them and not just use them as somebody to make us money? So we're going to talk about culture and Tis the Season next round. But Coffee Experts, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you here next week. Ben, thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks, guys.